Have you ever wondered if dragons truly existed? Dragons, these awe-inspiring creatures of myth and folklore, have sparked our imagination for centuries. From the colossal fire-breathing beasts of European legends to the serpentine, auspicious symbols of Chinese mythology, dragons have been woven into the tapestry of cultures across the globe. But what if these fantastical beings weren't merely the stuff of stories? What if, in some shape or form, they had a tangible existence? These mythical creatures, with their enormous wings and fiery breath, have left an indelible mark on our collective imagination. They have been the subject of countless tales and artworks, their forms and characteristics as varied as the cultures that gave birth to them. But are they entirely the product of human creativity, or could they be based on something real? So, let's embark on an intriguing journey to explore the origins and tales of these majestic creatures. Dragons have been a part of human narratives since the dawn of civilization. The evidence of their existence can be traced back to the ancient civilizations of Mesopotamia and Egypt. These early societies, known for their rich cultural heritage and mythological tales, have left us with the earliest depictions of dragon-like creatures. In the land between the Tigris and Euphrates, Mesopotamia, a creature named Mushusu took form in the narratives. This creature was a unique blend of various animals, with a serpentine body, front legs resembling a lion, and hind legs akin to an eagle. This formidable being, as the legends tell us, was considered malevolent, a force of chaos that was ultimately vanquished by the Babylonian gods. From here, let's journey to the banks of the Nile, to the civilization of ancient Egypt. Here we encounter Apophis, a dragon-like entity having a snake-like body and eyes that bore the sharp gaze of a hawk. Apophis was believed to be a harbinger of natural calamities, causing storms and earthquakes. The tales speak of a celestial battle between Apophis and the sun god Ra, symbolizing the eternal struggle between chaos and order. These early depictions of dragons were not just random figments of imagination. They reflected the beliefs and fears of these ancient societies. For them, dragons were embodiments of the unknown, the chaotic, and the destructive forces of nature. Their stories were ways to make sense of the world around them, to give form to their collective fears, and to narrate tales of triumph over these fears. Moreover, the physical attributes of these early dragons were often inspired by the real-world fauna that these civilizations encountered. The lion-like legs of Mushusu and the hawk-like eyes of Apophis mirror the animals that were part of these societies' natural surroundings. From Mesopotamia to Egypt, these early dragon tales set the stage for the diverse depictions of dragons we see across the globe. Each subsequent civilization added its unique touch to the dragon mythos, shaping and reshaping these legendary creatures to fit their cultural contexts and narratives. Shifting our gaze eastward, we find a different perspective on dragons. In the rich tapestry of Chinese folklore, dragons are not creatures to be feared but revered. They are seen as divine beings associated with prosperity, power, and good fortune. These celestial creatures are believed to reside in rivers and lakes, controlling the water bodies and bringing rainfall for a bountiful harvest. Unlike the fire-breathing monsters we often imagine, Chinese dragons are seen as symbols of auspicious power. One of the most enduring tales in Chinese folklore is the story of the Dragon King and his 9 sons. Each son, distinct in characteristics, embodies a unique aspect of the dragon's power. Some are known for their strength, others for their wisdom, and all are revered for their divine nature. The Dragon King himself is a majestic figure, commanding respect and awe in equal measure. This story, passed down through generations, underscores the cultural significance of dragons in Chinese society. Beyond folklore, dragons have made their mark on Chinese art, architecture, and even the Chinese language. Dragon motifs adorn temples, palaces, and even everyday objects, a testament to their deep-rooted cultural significance. The Chinese character for dragon, Long, is one of the most recognized symbols in the country, further emphasizing the dragon's revered status. Yet, Chinese dragons are not just symbols of power and prosperity. They are also seen as bringers of good fortune. Dreaming of a dragon is considered a good omen. a sign of upcoming success or happiness. This belief, deeply ingrained in Chinese culture, further highlights the positive connotations associated with dragons. In contrast to the malevolent dragons of the West, Chinese dragons are seen as divine beings, their appearance often considered a sign of good fortune. The Chinese dragon, with its unique characteristics and cultural significance, offers a different perspective on this mythical creature, reminding us that dragons are not just fire-breathing monsters, but can also be symbols of prosperity, power, and good luck. In contrast to Chinese folklore, European tradition presents a more sinister portrayal of dragons. Here, dragons are not divine rainmakers, but greedy, fearsome creatures, often depicted as the keepers of vast hoards of gold and other treasures. These dragons, with their scaly bodies and fiery breath, are symbols of chaos and destruction, presenting formidable challenges to heroes in many a tale. European dragons are frequently associated with avarice, their lairs brimming with golden treasures, jewels, and precious artifacts. These creatures are not just guardians of their hoards, but fiercely protective of them, willing to wreak havoc and destruction upon anyone daring enough to attempt to steal their riches. This portrayal taps into a deep-rooted human fear of the unknown, of creatures lurking in the dark, guarding secrets and treasures that are both alluring and dangerous. A tale that beautifully encapsulates the European tradition of dragons is the legend of St. George and the Dragon. This story, which has undergone many variations over the centuries, typically involves a dragon that terrorizes a town, demanding regular offerings of sheep and later human sacrifices. The princess of the kingdom is chosen as the next sacrifice, and it is at this point that St. George, a knight of great bravery, enters the narrative. Armed with a lance, St. George confronts the dragon, which is described as an enormous fire-breathing beast. After a fierce battle, St. George subdues the dragon, rescuing the princess and freeing the town from its reign of terror. The story ends with the people converting to Christianity, inspired by St. George's bravery and faith. The tale of St. George and the Dragon, like many European dragon tales, is filled with conflict and heroism. It presents the dragon as a symbol of the fears and challenges that must be overcome, a stark contrast to the benevolent dragons of Chinese mythology. These tales, with their vivid descriptions and dramatic narratives, have helped shape the image of the dragon in the European imagination, cementing its place as a symbol of greed, fear, and the struggle between good and evil. The European dragon tales, filled with conflict and heroism, provide a stark contrast to the benevolent dragons of Chinese mythology. In the modern world, dragons have transitioned from the realms of ancient tales to pop culture. The dragons of yore, once feared and revered, have found a new home in our books, movies and video games. These modern depictions draw from and reinterpret traditional dragon tales, blending the old with the new to create entities that are familiar yet fresh. Take, for instance, the dragons in the popular television series Game of Thrones. These dragons aren't simply mindless beasts, they're intelligent and emotionally complex creatures. They form deep bonds with their human companions, mirroring the dragons of Chinese folklore that were seen as divine beings, confidants and protectors. Yet they also possess the raw, primal power that characterized dragons in European tradition. They are both feared and respected, embodying the dual nature of dragons as destructive forces and symbols of majesty. Similarly, the dragons in the Harry Potter series draw on traditional dragon lore. They're portrayed as formidable, fire-breathing creatures, reminiscent of the dragons that guarded treasures in European tales. However, they're also seen as creatures shrouded in mystery, with their own unique behaviors and characteristics, much like the diverse dragon species found in different cultures. Then we have the dragons in How to Train Your Dragon, which take a more whimsical approach. These dragons are not just creatures of power and grandeur, but also of humor and heart. They're portrayed as loyal companions, each with a distinct personality, echoing the Chinese belief in the divine and benevolent nature of dragons. These modern reinterpretations of dragons are not just a testament to the enduring appeal of these mythical creatures, they also reflect our evolving understanding and interpretation of the dragon mythos. We've moved beyond viewing dragons as mere symbols of fear and awe. Instead, we see them as complex beings with their own stories to tell, much like us. From ancient legends to modern fantasy, dragons continue to captivate our imagination and shape our cultural narratives. With each new tale, we add another layer to the rich tapestry of dragon lore, ensuring that these magnificent creatures will continue to soar in our stories, our dreams, and our hearts for generations to come. So, did dragons exist? As we've journeyed through time and across continents, we've explored the dragon's omnipresence in human narratives. From the terrifying Mushu in Mesopotamian legends to the celestial dragon Apophis in ancient Egyptian myths, and from the benevolent dragon deities of Chinese folklore to the greedy treasure hoarders of European tales, dragons have left an indelible mark on our collective imagination. These tales, so varied yet so interconnected, have led us to ponder the possibility of dragons having a tangible existence. Could they have been real creatures that roamed the earth, or are they the product of our ancestors' vivid imaginations? Could they have been inspired by real-life animals, or do they represent the embodiment of our deepest fears and desires? While we may never definitively answer these questions, one thing is certain. Whether dragons truly existed or not, their enduring presence in human mythology and culture is undeniable.